Hi guys, today is the 28th of August and by 31st it would be Malaysia's Independence Day, even though East Malaysians celebrate Malaysia Day, which is 16th of September. So from 31st of August till 16th of September is the 2-week-ish period where we celebrate uh, National Day or Independence Day or Malaysia Day for that matter. Okay. Now, uh, I mean, I turn on the camera because I just finished the review of this Mini Cooper Countryman, but there are things that has been going on in my mind that I wanted to speak about, but then all of a sudden I sort of lost my voice. But nevertheless, I don't want to just miss this opportunity because it's a lot of random thoughts in my mind from stuffs I read and all that. But generally, it's the consensus, you know. So, you know how our current Prime Minister Anwar, when he came into power, and then it was just about time when US raised interest. And see, a lot of people don't understand the this whole US interest rate cycle thing. A lot of people actually don't understand this, even people in business and all that, right? Not everybody is interested in geopolitics or how all these things come into play together, as in the real world, you know, or so, you know, on the surface, it would seem as though, oh, US is raising interest rate because they want to fight inflation. Yes, there is inflation, but this is not the first time that US has raised interest, and all this while, US inflation is actually absorbed by the entire world, right? Because it's US dollar and it's accepted everywhere. So when US dollar is worth less, everybody also technically earn less, right? Because when you do international trading, you are trading your stuff for US dollar, and the US dollar that you traded for, your 1 ton of aluminium or your 1 ton of gold or whatever, is bought with US dollar, right? It's sold for US dollar, and US print their money out of thin air. Anyway, I don't mean to go as far. What I wanted to say is that when Anwar came about, right, everybody was like saying, oh, this is the worst prime minister ever, the worst finance minister ever, Ringgit is on a free fall, he's doing nothing, blah 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 blah. What do you expect him to do? Raise our interest rate to match US dollar? Do you even understand what does that mean? A lot of people complain about Anwar when they don't even understand some of the simple basics, right? When US raised their interest rates to 5 or 6 or even 7%, would you, right? Would you sell your ringgit and turn it to US dollar, or transfer your money to some US banks or whatsoever globally to put your money there, because it's a higher interest rate, right? And generally speaking, when they raise their interest rate, the dollar will strengthen against other currencies, right? Because demand for dollar will go up, and dollar will go back to US with less being circulated out there, right? And the value will go up because US print money all this while. They just keep on printing, And when they print so much, by right, their value should fall. But the entire world wants US dollar, they get absorbed. So this is a cycle that they do, right? I'll give an example. Before they raise the interest rate, let's say they reduce the interest rate, US dollar becomes very cheap, right? And very low interest. A lot of people can borrow from all the financial institutions. I mean, they are the biggest, right? And it becomes very cheap loan to take. When cheap loan is available, a lot of money is flowing around the market globally. What does that do? What do people do with this money? When they can take very, very cheap loan, they can use the money that they loan to go into stock market, to buy properties, blah, 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 and the entire world becomes flooded with US dollar, and it becomes very, the well-being of everybody seems very good, right? That's during COVID, you see stock markets reach highs, and then Bitcoin go up, classic car go up, everything just goes up. It's like, wow, the world is swimming in money, right? And of course, the moment the Ukraine war broke out, they raised their interest rates. What do? Imagine you are an investor in Europe, right? When the Ukraine war broke out, when Russia was sanctioned, when energy prices are high, would you invest in a new factory in Germany when your electricity bill is 4 times higher and raw materials from Russia, goes up in value, goes up in price, right? You won't. What do you do with your money? You put it in United States because they're paying you 6% a year. Why take the risk and invest in business, when your return on a good day is 7-8%, and here you have guaranteed returns of 6%. Of course, all the money from Europe will flow to US. Same goes globally. The world's circulation of money got sucked back into the US when they raised their interest rate. When this happens, countries, our currency compared to US would fall. And when that falls, or US goes up, it will reflect as though US has grown their GDP by a lot, when in fact they've done nothing. It's just the conversion rate changes, and suddenly US GDP goes up, right? So it happens to every country, literally. I mean, some countries are different. Some countries are very different, like Singapore. Singapore is purely like financial market. People store their money and whatever. Basically, countries like us, like ours, like Japan, everybody just goes down. Aussie dollar, 15 years ago, Aussie dollar is 1 to 3 ringgit. Now it's still 1 to 3 ringgit, right? Has ringgit fallen? Just against the US dollar, right? Yen, right? 20 years ago, 1 ringgit is 30 yen. Yeah. Now, it's also 30 yen. Recently ringgit went up, right? So, what I want to say is, it's not that Anwar is doing a bad job. It's just circumstances. US raised their interest rates to suck back all the money from the world. And usually, why do they do this? It's something that only you, as the printer of the world reserve currency, can do, because US dollar is accepted everywhere. They are the guys who print US dollar, so they can do this. So whenever US reduces the interest rate, money flows out, and then the world seems like a great place. And then when they raise the interest rate, that's when they want to suck back money. Now, when this happens, when they suck back all this money, remember the property prices that were going up? Property prices will only keep going up when there is the next sucker. Same goes with whatever investment thing. If you have the next sucker, it will keep on going up, right? It will keep going up when you have the next sucker. When you run out of suckers, that's when either if you're strong enough to hold it, or if not, you need to let go, right? Same goes with properties and all that. So that's when it came to a halt. When it came to a halt, not everybody can hold it, right? Some people couldn't hold it. And then it tapers off, and then it slowly weakens, and then it comes down. That's a good scenario. When it's a bad scenario, it will come crashing down, right? When it comes crashing down, usually after a period of this cycle, when things start crashing down, let's say certain countries couldn't hold it, they don't have enough foreign currency reserve, and they implode. Once they implode, usually the usual cycle is they absorb back all this US dollar, they wait for you to go implode. When certain countries or big industries implode, or minefield and all that, or land and all that, then they come back out to buy. They will come out and buy it up at low prices, right? After that, when the cycle is almost done, they reduce the interest rate, money starts flowing again, and the global markets goes back up, the land or property or whatnot. That's when they sell what they bought cheap. Usually that's the modus operandi. Okay. Anyway, coming back to Anwar, he came into power, and then everyone saw ringgit falling. But the thing is, the ringgit falling is the best scenario for us, because we are a net export country. We are a net export country, right? Malaysia earns foreign reserves every year. We are on a trade surplus every year. We sell more than we buy. It's a very good fiscal discipline. Let's put it that way. Okay. Yes, we have our numerous cases of corruption or whatnot, but trust me, these are okay. There are big cases, We have corruption going on. Every country has corruption, right? Every country has corruption. It's just whether it has been legalized or not. Okay. Certain countries legalize it. They call it lobbying, and hence they legalize it. Anyway, you see, a lot of Malaysians, we take two largest loans. One is our car, one is our house. Okay, so we have our property, and then we have our currency. And you, as the government, Anwar, which would you rather go on a free fall? Currency or property? Right? Because when you match it to global markets, right? Let's say you are a global investor, you are someone from US, right? Many years ago, you take 1 million US dollar, you change it to ringgit at 3 ringgit 50 cents, let's say many years ago, or 380, okay, 380, and then 1 million exchange to 380, and then you bought a property, right? And after all these years, the property is still 1 million, whatever price, okay, sorry, probably you take however much US dollar, and then exchange to ringgit, 1 million ringgit, okay, at 380 conversion, and then you bought the property 1 million. After umpteen years, the property is still 1 million, and then you need to go back to US. You sell back your property at 1 million, and then you exchange back to US dollar. But this round, the exchange rate is 480. You lost a lot of money, right? But your property is still 1 million, right? So as a foreigner, you lost money. But if you are a Malaysian who bought your property at 1 million, and then after so many years it is still 1 million, at least you don't panic, right? Imagine you bought it at 1 million, and then now I'm talking proper good property. I'm not talking about crap properties. crap properties that from the get-go they sell it at 900,000 and then now it's worth sub-sale market is 300,000-400,000. Yeah, there are such properties. Okay, not every plate of nasi lemak is tasty. Same goes, not every property is good. I'm talking about a good property that should hold its value, just that the market, the overall market, softened. So the fact is, yes, our ringgit dropped, but our country, from a macro perspective, is not that desperate in clinging on to our value, because when we drop in conversion with US, it makes our products cheaper, it makes our export more competitive, and we get more businesses, right? And it's good for the country. Whether it's good for you or not has no bearing with whether it's good for the country or not. Alright? If you are doing good, doesn't mean the country is doing good. But if the country is doing very good, generally you won't be doing too poor. Okay? That's the general thing. So, if the one that dropped is not ringgit and the one that dropped is our property, we would go into haywire, right? Everybody would go into negative, panic selling would happen, and with so many people's money and prospect and future locked into properties, Malaysia will fall into recession like that. Confidence would have gone to zero, banks will be chasing, and then we will fall into recession. But if our ringgit is falling, but not our property, at least to us Malaysians, it's still okay. It's still okay, right? The worst thing you want is a country going into recession. Everybody just lost confidence, and then economy doesn't flow, just get stifled there. All right. So no matter how, we still have to get past this cycle of US high interest rate. US can't hold it any longer, actually, because when they put it at such a high interest rate, they have to repay that, right? They are at what, 35 trillion? It's crazy. So US is still waiting for a few more markets to implode. They're hoping China would implode. Yeah, everything has come to a lot of countries are hurt when US does this. When they raise their interest rate, it will hurt the global economy because of the circulation of money, right? Investments and all that. If you're competitive enough during this period of time, you will get investments. And guess what? What is Anwar doing for the past 1 year? Bro, no joke, man. This guy is 70 plus year old. He is running all over the world getting investments in. And so far, what I read, the investments that came in this year is higher than the combined past few years in foreign direct investment, which is a fantastic thing. Now, of course, it is a particular sector, right? It is the data centers and all that, the chip sector, but it should trickle out slowly. It will. It just takes time, right? Because the investments are coming into semiconductor industry. It will take some time to affect your scuba diving gear business or your other form of businesses. It takes some time, but the fact is more money is coming into Malaysia, more demand for ringgit, because they need ringgit to buy land, to build buildings and all that, right? That's why at this juncture, before US even reduced their interest rate, ringgit is strengthening up against US dollar, which is a good thing. Now, of course, some of it is driven by people are prospecting against it. They are like, oh, I think it's a good thing. Then they start buying or start investing, and then that propped it up even higher, right? I guess that's how it is. But what I want to say during this Merdeka thing is that cut Anwar some slack, alright? We have been hoping for so many years to have a Prime Minister that isn't corrupt, right? To have a Prime Minister that doesn't embarrass us in wearing a very expensive Burberry shirt or some Balenciaga shit when they go and meet foreign ministers with some expensive you know, Ferragamo shoes and all that. It's embarrassing actually to see our ministers wearing, you know, Audemars Piguet watches and all that when they go on public duty. It's embarrassing because, I mean, what's the salary of our Prime Minister? 20,000. If someone has been in politics all their life, if they are clean, there's a lot of things that they are wearing that they shouldn't be able to afford, right? Now, that is one thing. The other thing would be, we all know how much cronyism was back then, right? It is a network. And anyone that came up in power, opposition, right, it's impossible to waste time and money and resources to go and backtrack and go and arrest everybody. It's impossible because they're all connected. At some point you have to just cut it off and close one eye. Same goes when Obama became president. He wouldn't go investigate George W. Bush war on Iraq and all that, right? And same goes, Obama got Nobel Peace Prize when he annihilated 4 countries and killed over 1 million people during his term. Yet he still gets to keep his Nobel Peace Prize. That tells you a lot whether Nobel is something noble or not, right? I couldn't give a damn. I mean, if one day I wrote something and then Nobel contacted me and said that, hey, you won a Nobel Peace Prize, I couldn't give 2 hoots about it. Same goes with Pulitzer and all that, alright? All this mean nothing now. Anyway, I just want to say that, cut him some slack. We have waited for a clean Prime Minister for so many years, right? Finally he's there, he's doing real work. Let's give him some time, alright? And I have to say one thing. A lot of people say that, oh, Najib's era is the best, Najib's era is the best. From what I see during his era, why we all feel so rich? Solely because of property speculation. It was during his period from 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, during these few years, Malaysia property prices doubled, tripled. And the government did not even bother to control it. They just let people speculate and just goreng, and property prices just went up like that. You can check the records. It is during this period of time where Malaysia property prices went up to the level that it is now, right? And that created a fake perception that we are doing very, very well. We are all swimming in cash. People can cari makan during that time. It's solely because property prices went from 300,000 to 700,000 during this period of time, from 250,000 to 550,000. It was during his term. And when did it end? When did everything end? When the 1MDB case was blown out. Yeah, that's the cutoff point. That's where our confidence levels all ended and came to a halt. So it's not one man's effort. It's circumstances, right? Ngam, he came into power, he became the Prime Minister, and that happened. Property prices went up, a lot of people earn a lot of money, so they start buying things, they start spending and all that. The whole Malaysia is swimming in money because of speculation. That's it. Is there any big thing that happened during that period of time? Like Mahathir's period where Mahathir was reigning for many years, but remember this, Mahathir came into power in 1981, right? And by 1985, we have brought on 4 years. He launched a national car maker to move us into industrialization, right? Semiconductor. That's real work. It's not easy to give a vision for a country. I know what Mahathir did in the later years, but we give credit where credit is due, okay? And of course, any leader would want some infrastructure, big infrastructure, right? I mean, the East Coast Railway, if you look at the initial proposal, the prices that... Anyway, I don't want to delve too much into politics. This is not about politics. It's about us Malaysians have to see what was back then and compare to now, and give everybody a chance to breathe and recoup, right? The money that was burnt during the corruptions from Jolo time, and also the money that was spent, go check. I mean, was it 600 billion that was spent ringgit during COVID period, right? All this money that was spent, or all this money that was borrowed or lent or on loan, doesn't miraculously disappear when we have a new prime minister. We still have to pay back all this money, right? That's the thing. So cut them some slack. Yes, now LHDN or customs is going around wanting to check all our accounts and all that, asking us to pay more money. Even I got it. I mean, I paid my taxes, I paid my SST or whatnot, but if they come, they come, no choice. It's annoying, yes, it pisses me off, but that's a separate thing, right? It's a separate thing. I mean, suddenly asking us to prepare 4 years or 5 years or 6 years of documents is annoying, right? But that's because the government needs money, right? And subsidy. You have to look at Thailand. Thailand is a lot poorer when it comes to GDP per capita than Malaysia. Alright, they are about 60% of our GDP per capita. Alright. Let's say Malaysia is at 11 or 12,000 US dollar. They are at about 7,000-ish. That's Thailand. But you look at Thailand. How much are their petrol? It's 5 ringgit, 4 or 5 ringgit. It's about adjusting our lifestyle. Yes, it's expensive. And is there a lot of motorcycles in Thailand? No. They still buy pickup trucks. Even if it's a cheap used pickup truck, they will still buy it. Why? Because a pickup truck doesn't only bring you from A to B. A pickup truck can ferry your kids to school and also allow you to use it to run a business. So I know a lot of Malaysians ride motorcycles because they say, oh, it's cheap on fuel, it's fast, I don't need to pay toll. Yes. But if they were to buy a very cheap pickup truck, they can still use it. Yes, petrol is more expensive, but you have an opportunity to run some business with your pickup truck. You can earn money with it. And that's a good thing. And when I look at Thai people, that's what they do. So I think Malaysians, we have been too well taken care of by our government that for whatever it is, we blame the government instead of trying to find ways out ourselves. So there are many opportunities. There are many ways to improve our source of income, to do different things. And I'm just glad that now at least I have a government that is trying their best to do real work. Remember another thing, it's just the top people changing. The entire government institution are still the same people. You cannot change them overnight. Nothing gets changed overnight. And some people expect Malaysia to suddenly become Singapore overnight when we have a new Prime Minister. Come on, it doesn't work that way. Cut him some slack. He's working really hard, right? I don't see him playing golf here and there, enjoying his life, buying expensive handbags for his wife or rings and all that. No, he's doing real work. So I hope all Malaysians should come to our senses and be grateful that hopefully we give him another 5. I hope he's healthy. I would give him another 10 years, right? And there are also some people who expect, oh, now we have Anwar, oh, we want you to give up the quota for universities, UiTM should take. Come on, no way. When you want something, it means somebody else have to give it to you, right? We cannot change things like that. No overnight changes. It doesn't happen that way. Malaysia is unique. That's what makes us unique, right? We are a country that was formed from individual Malay states with a Malay ruler, right? Johor is a country, Pahang is a country, Terengganu is a country, right? Selangor, they are all a country by themselves back then. It's just that they have come to their consensus to form into a country, a federal, and each king take turns to be Agong. It's a fantastic system of compromise. Only people from the Nusantara area are so, how do I put this? Are so nice that they are willing to compromise, right? And yes, I'm Chinese. Yes, I'm born here. Yes, my parents are born here. But the fact is, this region, right? Let's not talk about country. This region, the indigenous people are the Indonesians, the Javanese, the Iban, the whatever, the Malays. They came from this area, right? Yes, countries were formed after World War II and all that, but come on, don't force things into it. I mean, it takes a while. Malaysia is fantastic for what it is, all right? And the idea of them creating the quota and all that back then was hoping to bridge the gap. I mean, the gap is still there. Yes, there are also poor Chinese or poor Indians, and yes, there are. And the government actually have a lot of other schemes that everybody can apply. They just have some special schemes for the indigenous people, right? So, I mean, you look at our property prices when you compare, for those who don't know, those who are complaining about Malaysian property being expensive, just compare properties around, let's say, half an hour to city center, CBD of KL, half an hour diameter. Just look around there, Cheras area, all the way to probably Kajang or let's say Klang Valley, okay? Look at the property prices. And then you compare to Phnom Penh, you compare to Bangkok, you compare to Jakarta, Manila, right? Compared to Vietnam, their CBD. We are the cheapest. I kid you not. Yeah, Malaysian property prices are comparatively still cheaper than them, right? Can you imagine people from Taipei, let's say they are working as a middle manager, they don't even think about owning a property in Taipei, in CBD. It's impossible. 30 minutes from CBD is impossible. They don't even think about it because it's too expensive, right? So the banks have loans that are cross multi-generation loans. That means your parents work all their life to save up money in Seoul, okay? To save up money to have just enough money to pay for the down payment, and they took the loan that includes you, and then you come out and work, you pay the loan for, it's crazy. It's crazy. I know it's not super affordable like back then, but come on, it's over. The property speculation period was 2008 to 2015. It's done. It's there. But thanks to our government policies, when a developer builds a project, they must prepare low cost entry units. It is a must. And it is all funded itself by the developer. So that also helps to ease property prices in Malaysia. So the problem is youngsters these days, right, who are complaining, right? They are earning 3,000, 4,000, but because of Instagram, because of whatever, they are looking at, they every day they are browsing things like Balenciagas, Rolex, AP and all that, Bugattis and all that. And in their mind, they only accept properties that are 1.2 million, 1.3 million. They want that type of property. They want Mont Kiara, they want Bangsa, they want Damansara. And they are not willing to buy the 300,000 ringgit property, the 280,000 ringgit property, even though it's, 500, 600 square foot. It's a start. That's the problem. Everyone wants a 1,800 square foot property, without looking at, a million ringgit property is 6,000 a month. or 5,000 a month. And to be able to afford that, your remaining balance income has to be at least what, 8,000, 9,000. That's on a very, very tight margin. All right, because properties, you can go up to 80% of your available cash flow every month. So yeah, I'm very happy we have this government now. I know there are places where they could have improved. Let's wait. Things are slowly improving. Malaysians, right, I tell you, crazy, right? Wow, when Israel and Palestinian fight, and then they all went on the streets, Palestine, 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 go so crazy. And then when Anwar helped Palestinians, and then they scold Anwar, why are you helping them and not helping us? Really? Really? It's crazy, you know, when our government don't do anything, they scold them. When they do something, they get scolded as well. What? Come on. You know what is humanitarian? Humanitarian means you're helping people who may die if you don't help them, right? I don't know, man. Anyway, yeah. Selamat Hari Merdeka, and there's a lot of good in Malaysia that I see. The older I get, the more I love Malaysia. The more I travel around the world, the more I love Malaysia. The more I just, yeah, I just love this place. I love the people here. I love the policies here. I love everything about it here. And let's do our part to improve Malaysia bit by bit. All right. It's a wonderful country. Wonderful, wonderful country. Yeah. Which country? Tell me, which country where a husband and wife, let's say both are earning the least income, right? Let's say they are earning 2,000 ringgit a month, right? Probably even 1,009, let's say 1,009 or 2,000. Yes, it's very low, right? Husband and wife add up 4,000 ringgit. In KL, they are able to buy a property that is 30 minutes from town center. You know, yeah, Rumah Selangor Ku or Rumah Whip or Rumah Wat, right? There are many, many of such schemes where the property prices are 200 over 1,000 and even 200,000. Right, Selayang, there was one that was launched 210 or 220. You know, 220,000, what's the installment like? It's like a few hundred ringgit. Yeah, less than 1,000. And if they have 4,000 income, using 1,000 to pay for property, it's very healthy. Yeah, so that's what I mean. Okay, there's a lot of good in our country. Just see the good part, and of course there are things that we are not happy with, but it's the same with every single country. It's the same. Every country has their problems. All right. Cheers.